When did you first realize your child was different? My son was 3 when I noticed something that made my blood run cold. We were at his pediatrician's office, and while I filled out paperwork, Tommy sat quietly talking to someone who wasn't there. "Who are you playing with, sweetie?" I asked, glancing around the empty waiting room. "The sad man in the white coat," he whispered, pointing to an empty chair. "He says his name is Dr. Miller and he used to work here, but he can't help the sick children anymore." The receptionist overheard and went pale. She whispered that Dr. Miller had been the pediatrician there for 30 years until he died of a heart attack in that exact chair 2 months ago. At home, things escalated quickly. Tommy would have full conversations with invisible people, describing them in perfect detail. He told me about the lady with a burned face in our kitchen, the little girl who cried in his closet, and the angry man who stood at the foot of my bed while I slept. He started knowing things he couldn't possibly know. He told our neighbor, Mrs. Chen, that her husband was sorry about the accident and it wasn't her fault. Mrs. Chen broke down crying because her husband had died in a car crash the week before, something Tommy had never been told. The preschool called me in for a meeting. "Tommy has been disrupting class," his teacher explained nervously. "He keeps talking to empty desks, claiming there are children sitting there. Yesterday, he told me the little boy in the back row was sad because his mommy couldn't find him." She paused uncomfortably. "We did have a student who went missing 3 years ago. His desk was in the back row. That night, I found Tommy standing in our hallway at 3 a.m., staring at the wall. 'They're all here now, Mommy,' he said calmly. 'They want me to come with them. They say it's lonely where they are.' I scooped him up, my hands shaking. 'Who wants you to come with them?' 'All the dead people,' he replied matter-of-factly. 'They follow me everywhere now. They think I can help them go home.' I consulted psychics, mediums, child psychologists. One medium told me Tommy was a beacon, someone whose spiritual energy attracted souls lost between worlds. She warned me that the more spirits gathered around him, the more dangerous it would become. They would eventually try to pull him into their realm permanently. The nightmares started when he turned 4. Tommy would wake up screaming about being pulled into darkness, about cold hands grabbing him, about voices begging him to stay forever. I barely slept, checking on him every hour, sometimes finding him levitating above his bed, surrounded by freezing cold air. One morning, I woke up to find Tommy's room empty. I searched everywhere, calling his name frantically. Finally, I found him in the basement, standing in front of the old mirror that came with a house. But his reflection wasn't there. "I can see them all now, Mommy," he said without turning around. "They're so beautiful on the other side. They don't hurt anymore." I grabbed him, pulling him away from the mirror, but his body felt weightless, like holding smoke. "Tommy, you have to stay with me," I pleaded, tears streaming down my face. He looked at me with eyes that seemed ancient, far too old for his 4-year-old face. "I love you, Mommy, but they need me more than you do. They've been waiting so long to go home." The mirror began to glow with a soft white light. I could see shapes moving within it, reaching out toward my son. Tommy smiled, the same sweet smile he'd had since he was a baby. "I'm not leaving, Mommy. I'm just becoming what I was always meant to be." He stepped toward the mirror, and as his hand touched the surface, the glass rippled like water. "Tell everyone that the people they miss are okay. Tell them I'll help them find their way." The light grew brighter until I had to close my eyes. When I opened them, Tommy was gone. The mirror showed only my own reflection, tears streaming down my face. But somehow I wasn't afraid anymore. I understood that my son hadn't been taken from me. He had been chosen for something far greater.